Hi and welcome back. My next video is an eBay purchase. So this is a 3.5 kilo box, mixed pieces including minifigures. Bought this on a charity auction, so basically from eBay, or through eBay, but British Heart Foundation. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to donate something towards British Heart Foundation and get something back in return, which is obviously the Lego, which will go into the collection. As you can see, I paid £68 plus a little bit of shipping, so about £73 paid. This is what's left in the box after I pulled out basically everything I could lay my hands on in terms of minifigures, bits and pieces of semi-built. There is stuff in here still sort of put together, and I'm going to guess my way around what I think is in here, and it really is guesswork at the moment, but isn't it? Get that out. So the little blue tool, got an orange one over here. So let's do a little bit of a scan around some of the bits and pieces. You feel free to comment in the bottom if you recognise little components. I think that might be a bit of a mini sub or something. There's a plate there with a surround on it, so that looks like it's kind of a stand for something. At the back there you've then got a cannon, a building that I'm not sure where that's likely to be from. It's tan and brown and grey, so is it a bit of Star Wars? There's what looks like a control tower type building at the back there. What looks like the front of a London city display, and maybe that's a little bit of the sort of Millennium Wheel. So have I got that in there? Bits of Legoland signage. At the back there, I think that's the everyone is equal or everyone's important or something like that set. A few little bits broken off. They're probably in the box, but I'll go through and see if I can complete that. We've got a little bit of fairground ride back here, more of a fairground ride. I've also got a little bit of a pirate mast. Couple of little racers. What's left of a jet fighter with its pilot. So I've already got a couple of those, so I'm rapidly creating the red arrows. A little trolley, a few bits and pieces that are not Lego. So there's a little K on a little wooden train. Interesting because my grandson's name is Kai, so that might have been something weird. Some bits and pieces are odd toys, so I'm guessing that this is a genuine mixed lot of stuff. Then we've got all of the 11 different coloured Lego people from that rainbow set, which is nice. We've got a few headsets which I haven't been through just yet, but I will go through them shortly. An interesting take on what an alien, a Predator would look like if it was made by Lego. That one's fake, unfortunately. But yeah, some headsets, a brown Batman mask, some Star Wars headsets, a few accessories, a skateboard, a few little guns. Guessing they're kind of Star Warsy type guns. And then we come around into the minifigures. So overall, including the 11 back here, 40 minifigures. So that's a pretty good return, I think. I have counted up the Bricklink sort of valuations on the ones that I've managed to complete and put them together, and they mean that just the minifigs alone have more than paid for the lot if I was to sell them. I'm not planning to. This is about building and having fun with the grandchildren and getting them off screens. So let's have a look at what we've actually managed to achieve from the minifigures. So we've got some headless ones where the wrong heads were on them and I just need to go and find the right heads. So there's some interesting ones there. Again, if you know who these are, then feel free to comment. A couple of more Star Wars helmets. A few down here where they're kind of not got the right things. I think the Hoth guy has got the wrong head. These are missing their hats or helmets, but they're the right heads by the looks of things. And then going from the back frontwards, so a clone trooper, a little maintenance man, the top of the Big Ben clock, an alien. You can see there's a Joker in prison outfit, some more Star Wars figures, another clone trooper. Interestingly enough, this guy is worth almost the most out of any of these, so it was quite interesting. A couple of Death Troopers, they've got good money attached to them, so, and they are complete. Pirate, Stormtrooper, C-3PO, Hoth officer. You can see I've got a Batman at the back there. One of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe that's Michelangelo. He is not, unfortunately, the more expensive of the two. He's got the wrong shaped mouth, but it's still a nice little find. Spider-Man, and as you can see, SpongeBob and Patrick. That's quite a nice little pair to get in here, and we'll be working out whether the rest of the set is in here. Crash Test Man. So overall, that's been a pretty good result, I think, because you know the minifigures alone are worth what I paid, and that's before I even total them up and sort of go through the spare heads I've got and sort of try and complete them, or put the right head pieces on. And I've got a couple of racers. I've got what looks like it's a fairground ride, although I only have one single piece of track by the looks of things. But I do have an entire track, which I think might be from the same set, so I've got lots of spares there. I have a Creator race car, which I will get out of that 3-in-1 and have a bit of play with that with my grandson when we get the chance. So yeah, it's a really nice result, and what it's done is given me a bit of encouragement. You know, I won this bid with a last second bid up. There were 5 or 6 bid auctions all going on from the same seller, so other components might have been this. I did miss out on one which had, by the looks of things, a full train set, had the remote control and everything. But yeah, feel free to leave comments as to what you liked about the video. I will be setting up a bit more of a rig to be able to sort of open these things and put them together, but realistically I need to learn a lot more about the minifigs and what looks like what before I really start to go into town on that. This is about expanding my collection, and as I said, I will crack on with getting this catalogued to the rest of it, try and work out what the other components are from, and then break this down to be cleaned, because it's not filthy, to be honest, but it needs a clean before it goes in with the rest of the bricks. So yeah, that will be the rest of this evening's work, just while I break it down, but I need to try and sort of work out a few component sets and see if I can bunch some stuff up together if necessary. Stay tuned for the next video, and I will speak to you probably in around a week's time, because I'm off to a wedding for the next few days, and I will leave you with what look like the 3 most interesting characters, which is the kind of zombie guy back there, and the 2 Death Troopers.